should be pretty easy. We got a shorter day. Again, I think the circle graphs are easy, but as I was telling some parents, this whole 9 weeks is going to be to try to help you with your ERBs. And one thing that's on the ERBs is a lot of graphs, a lot of charts, a lot of tables, all right? And I need you to be an expert at figuring this stuff out. All right, quickly, hurry up. All right, so for the first lesson here, all right, I don't really care about the questions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right at this moment. That's not what we're focusing on. We're focusing on understanding the circle itself. All right. So the question I'm having to you or for you is that these, Walter has 120 animals, Andrew has 90, Daniel has 50, Jerry has 10, and Jason has 30. So how many animals are there altogether? Who already figured that out? Yeah, I think there's 300. Does everybody agree? So I want everybody to put a total of 300. There's a total of 300. All right? So if I said, what fraction did Walter own, you would say Walter owned what? What fraction? Just say, no, I said what fraction? Yeah, 120 over 300. So in this piece right here, we're going to put Walter as 120 over 300, and then we're going to go ahead and reduce the fraction, which reduces down to what? I think it reduces down to, what did you say? Yes, 2/5. All right? We just divided by 60. All right, so that wasn't too bad. All right? So now let's talk about Andrew. So what fraction did Andrew possess? Tell me. 90 over 300. And then if we reduce that, that reduces down to what? What did you say? Think about it. All right, you'll get it. Give him a second. You don't really need calculators on this. Well, first of all, you just cross out the 0.
Oh.
3 over 10. All right? And now, Jason. What's Jason's fraction? 30 over 300. And then that reduces to what? One over, yes, thank you, 1 over 10. All right, you got Jerry. What's Jerry on? Which reduces to? That's correct. Reduces to 1/3. All right, and you got Daniel.
So it's 50 over 300.
And that just reduces to? Yeah, 1/6. You may have a problem with that? What? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. It is 1 over 30. Thank you very much for fixing that. 1 over 30. Thank you. All right. Yes, ma'am. Just divide by 50. Or, right, we just cross out the 0 and then divide by 5. You agree now? What? Okay, so now, listen, what happens if I add all those fractions up? What will they add up to? Can somebody tell me? What will they add up to? 1 whole. That's exactly right. 1 whole. All right, that's kind of important. All right. Now, 2/5. Somebody tell me what percent 2/5 is. Everybody should be able to tell me that. You don't need a calculator? How much? I don't think so. 40%, right? Because 2 over 5 can be 4 over 10. 4 over 10 can be 40 over 100, right? So that's 40%, all right? So right now I'm just reviewing fractions and decimals and percentages. And 3/10 for Andrew would be what percent? All right, I'm happy with that. That's pretty straightforward, right? 30%. All right. So Jason represents 10%. Now, Jerry. What would Jerry do? What percent? What percent is Jerry? What do you think?
6. One.
What do you think?
1/3.
9? What do you think? Yes, but listen to me. Yay, there you go. That's brilliant. Now I'm going to try to show everybody else how you got that. Okay? So, 1/30 is 3 1/3%. I want everyone in here to be able to do that. All right? First of all, let's look at it this way, guys. Come on now. I really want you to listen to me to be good with numbers. Does everybody know what 1/3 is? What decimal is 1/3? 0.3 repeating. So now listen to me. 1/30 is the same as 1/3 times 1/10. Did I see that? So that's how we knew that 1/3 was 0.3. And then if you take, or if you divide by 10, you move the decimal over one place to the left. Is that making any sense? All right. So now you know that 3 repeating is 1/3. Is everybody okay with that? So that's how I knew that 1/30 was the same as 3 1/3%. All right. So now, without using a calculator, let's try to figure out what 1/6 is. What is 1/6? Somebody tell me what 1/3 is. What's 1/3 as a decimal? 0.3 repeating. All right, so now listen to me now. Here's what I'm trying to tell you. 1/6 is 1/3 times what? 1/3 times what? 1/2. We said that 1/3 is 0.3 repeating, right? So 1/6 would be 0.3 repeated divided by what? Well, divided by 2 or multiplied by 1/2, right? So how do I do that? How do I take 0.3 repeating and divide it by 2? Right, what's that? All right, but is it, all right, I'm not doing a very good job. So if I take 3, 3, 3, 3, right? And we're going to divide that by 2. 2 goes into 3 how many times? Once, with 1 left over. Then 2 goes into 13 how many times? 2 goes into 13 how many times? 6 times with how many left over? 1. 2 goes into 13 again with 1 left over. So 1/6 is 0.16 repeating. Everybody with me on that? All right, so that's just something that I'm trying to get you to think about. All right, so 1/6 is 0.16 repeating. So what exact percent is that going to add up to? What?
16.
And? Yeah, 16 2/3. How do we know it was 2/3? Because when you have 6's repeating, it's what? 2/3. So I want everybody to just realize that 1/6 is the same as 16 2/3%. Now what's going to happen if I add up all the percentages? You're going to get what? 100%. Just like all the fractions will add up to what? 1. And if I added up all the decimals, they would also add up to what? 1. Because 100% is the same as 300 over 300, which is the same as 1 over 1. All right, hopefully that's making sense. All right? Understand what? Okay, so let's just say I tried to show you something, I didn't do a very good job. All right. So now what I want to do is I just want to divide it out. All right. 6 goes into 10 one time. 40, right? 6 goes into 40 6 times. And it's always a 40. So that's why it's 0.16 repeated. You with me? Now, for me, if I take that and divide it by 2, in my head, half of 33 is 16. And I just know it's going to be repeated 6s. All right, which is kind of hard. All right. But again, you see it now, right? And then it's always going to be 6s here, right? So that percent is 16 with these 6s repeating. I know it's 2/3. You agreed now? All right. I'm glad you asked. Yes.
How did you put
How did I what?
How did I see the 2/3?
Well, because anytime I see 6s repeated, I know it's got to be a fraction 2/3. You with me? All right. What?
Okay, so this is the same.
Sometimes. All right. All right. Now that we have all that, all right. Now the next last important thing is I said how many degrees are there in a circle? 360. So tomorrow I'm going to make you draw the circle graphs. All right. And I want you to be accurate. All right. So if I said you had 40%, if Walter owned 40%, what degree does 40% represent? How many degrees is 40% of the circle? Tell me. Come on now. What? 9 degrees? Say it. Thank you very much. Very strong. 144 degrees. That's why I get mad at you sometimes. Stop messing around. Concentrate. I'll make you smarter. 144 degrees. You hear me? Now, how do we get that? Because do you agree? You just had to find 40% of 360. So again, 40% of, what did I tell you of meant math? Multiply. So 40% times 360. So type in on your calculator if you need to, 0.4 times 360. And we already did that. And that was what? 144. All right? So how many degrees does Andrew represent? How many degrees does Andrew represent? How much? 108 degrees. Shh. 108 degrees. Because again, we just took what? 30% of 360. All right, now I want you to tell me about Jason. How many degrees is Jason?
Oh wait, I'm not getting it.
Hold on a minute. What?
I don't really get how you
30% of 360.
I don't get how you got Walter.
40% of 360.
You just
How do I do 40%? On my calculator. 0.4. 4% is 0.04. Right?
Oh right, I just
Right, you're good. You're good. So I'm asking now about Jason. How many degrees is Jason? Tell me. All right, now I want you to put your calculators down. I want to ask you a question. So Jason is 36 degrees. All right, please look up here. Please look up. You don't need a calculator for this. You just need a brain. If Jason is 36 degrees, then how much is Jerry? How many degrees is Jerry? Just logically thinking.
12.
How did you get that so fast?
I divided 36 11.
Yes. Everybody with me on that? Jerry is 1/3 of Jason, right? So his angle has got to be 1/3 of that. So what did we say Jerry was?
12.
12 degrees. All right, now because we are brilliant, how much would Daniel have to automatically be? You don't need a calculator for this. Miss Clay, how much? 60, because Yes, that's exactly what I want everybody to be able to tell me. Daniel is how many times bigger than Jerry? 5. So his angle has to be 5 times what Jerry is. Does everybody agree with that? Now, if we have done it correctly, all of the angles that we add up will add up to what? Yeah, they'll add up to 360 degrees. Is everybody okay with that? Anybody have any issues? All right, now let's answer these silly questions. Obviously, we did way more than we were supposed to, but that's important. All right, what is the percentage of Jason's farm animals? Jason is what percent, please? Let's go, guys. Just answer the questions. 10%. What fraction of animals does Andrew have? 3/10. Who has the most number of animals? How silly is that? Walter. And then, what is the total percent owned by Jason and Walter? Jason and Walter represents how much? Come on, stop. We're not comedians in here. You're going to be poor growing up being a comedian. How many animals are owned by Daniel? Yeah, that was really dumb also. All right. So again, those are the easy parts. That was the easy part. What we did on the inside of the graph is the most important. All right. Now, flip the page for me. All right. Now, for this right here, what I need for you to understand now is how many people took this survey? 108 people took the survey. How do we know that? Because we read it. All right, we read that. So 108 people took the survey. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to translate that 108 total into the individual pieces. All right. So it says 108 people were surveyed on their favorite breakfast. The pie graph is made according to their responses. Use the pie graph and answer the question. So my question to you guys is, how many prefer toast for breakfast? What is it? 1/6 of what, though? Of 108. So what's 1/6 of 108? That's what I'm asking. So we think 18 people. Is everybody okay with 18? All right, is everybody happy with 18? All right, now, how many preferred cereal? Let's go, figure it out, guys. Somebody said what? Does everybody agree with 24?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to put 24 in there. All right, hash browns. 12 people, right? And then also bagels, the same as hash browns, so we can just call that 12. And then pancakes, what? 36. And then what about the egg? 6 people. All right. 6 people. All right. Now, sorry, I know there's not always enough room to write everything that we need to write. But that's the important part. So, on this one over here, they gave you all the pieces, and you had to find the what? The totals. All right? That's how you figured out the fractions and the percents. Do I agree with that? Over here on this one, they gave you the total, and now you have to break the total into the individual what? Pieces. All right? So from there, we know the fraction. Now we're going to go practice writing the percentage. All right? So everybody's got to help me out with the percentage now. All right? Because we reviewed it. Now the numbers are not easy. All right? So I want the exact as a fraction, the percent. Let's start with pancakes. What percent of the people prefer pancakes? No.
Oh, 33. 33.
What? Shh, no one's talking to you. 33 and a third. So pancakes, that's correct, is 33 1/3%. Stop talking now. You're not allowed to talk anymore. 33 1/3%. All right. Now let's talk about the bagel. Tell me what the bagel percent would be. Take the 1 divided by 3 on your calculator. Let's go. Shh, no one's asking you yet. You see it now, right? All right. So now I want you to do the bagel for me. What was it? Tell me what comes up on your calculator. Right. So what percent is that, though? Shh. Yay, there you go. 1/9 is 11 and 1/9%. So type it on your calculator. 1 divided by 9. It's just a string of what? Right? So it's 0.11111111. So you move the decimal over 2 spots. So it's 11.111111. What is 0.1111 the same as? Shh. 1 repeating is what fraction? There you go. That's how we got 11.19. Does that make sense now? Come on. No, not kinda. Not kinda. We're not into kinda. I want it to make sense. So there's nothing I can do on this, right? Listen, let me ask you this. Do you understand that 1 divided by 9 is 0.1 repeating? Yes, so we're good. Now, the only thing you might not be good at is when you do the 0.1 repeating, you move it 2 places to the right to convert it to a percent. You with me now, right?
Yeah.
All right, so now what I want you to do is tell me what 2/9 is. Shh. I'm waiting. For you, yes.
22
Yes, I told you. 22 and 2/9%. Now, does everybody agree that 2/9 is twice as much as what? 1/9. Does everybody see that? So we could have just doubled 11 and 1/9 and got 22 and 2/9. All right? So now, we already talked about toast. Who remembered what 1/6 is? Will. No, remember you're not talking. Yes, thank you. 16 and 2/3%. If you don't like it, divide it out. 1 divided by 6 and double check yourself. The reason why you don't understand is you're not doing it. Elise, are you good with that?
Yes.
All right, the last one we want to talk about is 1/18. What's 1/18?
5 and 1/2.
Check it on your calculator.
Oh, 5.
What is 1 divided by 18?
1 divided by 8.
What does it say it is?
0.05555556.
Right, so what is that the same as?
Yeah, I know it's not like that.
You got this, girl. 0.05 is the same as what percent?
Oh, 1,
Shh.
5/9.
But I ask you what 0.05 is.
Oh, 5 and 5/9.
There you go. 5 and 5/9%. The egg is 5 and 5/9%. All right, again, of course, that's way harder than normal. All right, does everybody understand now the fractions, reviewing the repeated decimals, those types of things? Everybody good on that? All right. So now what we want to do is I want to come down here and I want to ask you now about the angle measures. All right, we have to do the angle measures. All right, so how many degrees would toast be? How many degrees would toast be? Come on, don't wait for the answer. If you can't tell me what 360 divided by 6 is, you probably should use a calculator, but you probably should work on your mental math. What is it? Does everybody agree it's 60 degrees? Everybody happy with that? 60 degrees. So we're going to put 60 degrees right here. Uh-oh, that's percent. 60 degrees. Yes, ma'am. How many degrees in a circle? 360 divided by 6. You see what I'm saying? Because 1/6 of the circle represents toast. What degree is cereal? How many degrees is that going to be? How many? Somebody said 80 degrees, right? Because you can just do what? 360 times 2/9. You're doing good by not talking. All right? 80 degrees. I'm happy with you. And so how many degrees in a circle? You're going to be all right. So what is 2/9 of 360? 2/9 of 360. In math, what does that mean? That's right. So now do on your calculator 2/9 times 360. Wow. Yeah. See what I mean?
How do you do when it's not a fraction?
Well, what are you talking about? Like the one up here? Well, that's what we did all the fractions for you. Oh, wait, never mind. You good now? All right, so what fraction is the hash browns? 40 degrees, right? Everybody's putting 40 degrees. And then what about the bagel? Same thing, right? 40 degrees. And then somebody tell me about the pancakes. 120 degrees. And then do we do the egg? 20 degrees is the egg. Well, because the numbers are relatively easy to divide. Like 360 divided by 9 is 40. 40 times 2 is 80. 360 divided by 9, 40. 360 divided by 9, still 40. 360 divided by 3, still 120. Don't feel bad. What? Come on, speak up. Tell me. We'll take 360 times 1/3. See what I'm saying? You can't listen to me. So here's what I want you to remember. Think about it. 360 divided by 3 is the same as 360 times 1/3. That's why some of you are having a trick, because you forgot that rule. Does that make sense now? Now look, remember, of in math always means what? Multiply, right? So notice 2/9. You have to go 360 divided by 9 and then times 2. Or you can do 360 times 2/9. Am I making sense? All right, let me show you up here. Let me show you. Come on, I don't want anybody to be frustrated now. All right, I just want you to tell me. 360 times 2/9, right? We could treat this like this, right? So 9 goes into 360 40 times. And then 40 times 2 is 80. You with me now, right? See, look, see, it's easy, right? You just have to know, right? Or you can just do what? 360 times 2, which is 720. And what's 720 divided by 9? Still 80. You see what I mean? So it doesn't matter how you're doing it, right? I'm just saying when I say 1/3, that means divided by 3, right? If I say 1/9, that means what? Right. But now if I say 2/9, that means divided by 9 and then multiply by 2. You with me on that?
Yeah.
All right. That way, if it's 360, because 360 is easy to divide by 9, that's why everyone was knowing the answers before without using their calculator. You see what I'm saying now, right? All right. Everybody, right? Is everybody okay with that now? Review. That's why we're reviewing the fractions, the decimals, and the percentages, because it's annoying if you forget. All right. Is everybody comfortable with that? So that did all the fractions and all the percentages and the degrees. All right, so now let's look down and answer these questions. How many people like to eat cereal for breakfast? 24, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. Which food got half the number of votes of the bagel? Eggs. All right, how many people would like to have toast? 18. How many people did not vote for pancakes? 72. Good job, guys. And which morning meal is the favorite choice of 18 people? Toast. All right, you see how that's like ERB type questions, where if you're not careful, you can make silly mistakes. Do everybody agree with me? Everybody okay with that? All right, now your only homework is this page right here. So you got to listen to the directions now. You got to listen to the directions. All right. This now is dealing with a budget. How much money do they make? $7,000 a month. So you can divide that $7,000 into housing, food, miscellaneous, entertainment, clothing, and savings. Everybody understand that? I want the fraction, right? I want the dollar amount. I want the percentage. And I want the angle measure. Just like we did on the first two. Is everybody with me? Yes, I know. It already gives the percentage. So we need the fraction, right? We need the fraction. All right, which is easy to do. Because you just convert the percent to a fraction. All right? But super important also is the angle measure for each wedge. Everybody hearing me? All right, and then answer those dumb questions. The questions aren't the important part. It's the understanding how to make the angle that's important. Because tomorrow I'm going to have you draw these circle graphs. All right? Good job, guys. Come on. All you have to do now, listen to me, is that worksheet, that one right there. That's it. All right? And you got like 5 minutes, so you might be able to finish those. You guys are quick. Now you can talk. Thank you.